The sun is rising on a new day in Charlotte's real estate market, a day of hope, optimism, and promise. It's a welcome change from the past few years when the news about home sales, a major indicator of the health of the U.S. economy, was anything but positive.
On the real estate front this morning,
about Charlotte's struggling housing market.
The Charlotte market is not rebounding like it has in other places.
This shows how music can really bring people together and do something good for the community.
At first, you might not think cancer patients have a reason to jam with the Leadville Social Club Band. But enjoying music is part of also finding healing from a deadly disease.
Stephen was my brother. He was a great guy. He played hard and he worked hard.
And on 9/11, just as Stephen Coakley ended his shift at 9 a.m.,
his one saying was always, "We're here to help."
the New York firefighter did what needed to be done.
Steve and a friend, the firefighter, Neil Levy, went to go help people out of the South Tower.
Saving hundreds of lives, but sacrificing his own as that tower came down.
Thinking of my brother, he's such a strong, good fireman. There was no reason he wouldn't return, but day by day, that settled in.
Till this day, she doesn't fully remember the events and emotions following that tragedy.
It's different memorials and different things we went to.
But to keep his memory alive beyond this memorial display, the kid's sister set up the Stephen Coakley Foundation.
It's going down, y'all. You know the deal. When words come, the words come, the words my people come first. Words come, the words. When words come, the words my people come first. Y'all, some people got good friends.
Delete what you know. Activate the future. Welcome to Uptown Charlotte version 2.0. This is where Charlotte begins again.
We've defended Charlotte. During the city's extraordinary growth, we saw how people coped with growing pains.
University City may not be an actual city, but it's a fast-growing part of town that's quickly attracting business and industry. The same is true here in the Ballantyne area, where much of that growth can be attributed to the Bissell companies.
As parents, we've often been busy, and sometimes we lose sight of our children. But imagine if in that panic moment, all the information you need is right here in your smartphone. So no matter where you are in the city and beyond, the information you need will be right here at the moment you need it the most. In Charlotte, Suzette Reed, Fox News.
From Grayson Skate Park in East Charlotte, more for beginners or kids, to skate demos in South End for teens hoping to one day get sponsored. Skaters in the Charlotte area united Tuesday for International Go Skate Day.
With every pitch thrown and every crack of the bat, the Kannapolis Intimidators, like other ball players, deal with soaring temperatures.
Sometimes it feels like it's 120 degrees. I've had to change my, shirt underneath my jersey a couple times in the middle of a game.
Catcher Mike Blank knows better than anyone how toasty it can get.
It's probably 10, 15 degrees warmer with all that gear on.
It's no secret that it gets hot at the ballpark. It's part of the game. But when you combine high humidity and low air circulation here on the field, the heat index, or what the temperature feels like on your skin, can reach well over 110 degrees.
And that heat can really get in a player's head. Tournament organizers estimate the city can expect between $40 and $60 million in economic impact.
the players love this golf course, and they love the city of Charlotte. And, we have a great date, and those are three good combinations to have to get a field like we've got.
Even without Tiger Woods, the galleries have other big-time players to cheer for. Like
Phil Mickelson.
The 2005 champion, Vijay Singh.
Time in Charlotte when the demand for new homes was so intense, builders could barely keep up.
That's true. Now construction trade workers are the largest group to file for unemployment in North Carolina. So how do you reboot an industry in crisis? Fox Charlotte's Suzette Reed and photojournalist Justin Garant found a couple of builders who redefined their profession.
Many recall when Charlotte epitomized the phrase, "build it and they will come." Then the construction craze came to a screeching halt. Even marquee builders were shut down. It wasn't just one company, but an entire industry that seemed to be disappearing right before our eyes. As a builder, Alan Moffat remembers.
Everyone was very nervous. No one knew what was going on, if they'd have a job, how many houses they had to build that year.
Business partner David Zelch remembers too.
When you couple that with the amount of houses that we knew were still available in the Charlotte area, we knew the bomb was about to drop kind of thing.
Charlotte's building industry continues to struggle. 2,000 construction jobs were lost in the last year alone. Recovery is slow. But as both builders have families, they tried to reboot their business model. That's when the partners tapped into disaster remediation and remodeling work. The people who fix homes after a disaster, like a fire in this case. To do this work, they needed new certifications and tens of thousands of dollars in new equipment.
I was on the road a lot. I'm sure my wife wasn't too happy about that, but
You were motivated.
Yeah, I was motivated. I was, and she saw the bigger picture. And once we got those certifications, I had the ability to do this work. There was a fire in the attic.
Fixing a home after a fire isn't just about rebuilding. There's a science involved. There are health concerns, special equipment, and training required. Seeing this house now, it's hard to imagine it restored, but it does happen, and that process happens faster than you think. For example, at this house, hundreds of gallons of water came through that hole, ruined so much of the interior of this house, and now the homeowner is within weeks of being able to move back in.
They literally had water pouring out of their doors. So,
Out the front door.
front door and out the basement, garage doors.
Fixing a home after catastrophic water damage is another science, concern about mold, for example. But restoring a home, that part is the same and still a passion for both partners. When these two builders reinvented their careers, they didn't just save their own jobs, they saved the jobs of dozens of contractors. Because as you might imagine, it takes a small army to build a home.
I almost feel like I'm generating more work than I was prior. So, and we've been very blessed and very fortunate, even with the economy the way it is, to be thriving like we are.
If you stay still and just, you can get left behind. So it's just another form of construction that we enjoy.
The story of these builders could have ended very differently. Thanks to their perseverance in changing with the times, these 30-something-year-olds found a way to reboot themselves and their careers by finding a new pathway to success. In Charlotte, Suzette Ree, Fox News.
Another upside to what these two builders have achieved with their new career path. Many of their disaster remediation clients are so happy with the outcome. Some of them have hired these builders for new construction jobs, such as remodeling a part of their house. We want to hear from you. Head to our web channel, foxcharlotte.com, and click the Reboot Charlotte tab.
Center City may be the heart of Charlotte, but the Queen is expanding her territory. The two fastest growing areas, Ballantyne and the University.
These urban centers that are like a city within a city, they function like a city, they have all the activities of a city. They're just not a city.
UNC Charlotte is the center of the university area.
It is an explosion that has occurred in the growth here because 30 years ago there was nothing here other than the university and a scattering of housing.
Electrolux is moving its North American headquarters to Research Park.
It's an area that offers a great quality of life. It's been consistently named a great place to live, a great place to work.
The 900 jobs will make this relocation the largest to Charlotte in 25 years. University City may not be an actual city, but it's a fast-growing part of town that's quickly attracting business and industry. The same is true here in the Ballantyne area, where much of that growth can be attributed to the Bissell companies.
Of the 40 buildings in Ballantyne now, the 40 office buildings, only one was ever built for a client. The other 39 were all speculative.
When you think Ballantyne, you might think golf, recreation, and luxury. But business is also on the boom. In the past 2 years, over 1,000 jobs have been created right here.
It makes it so attractive for folks to think about relocating a wide employee base where everybody can live close, work close, and feel part of a community.
Barry Fabian is Senior Vice President with the Bissell Companies. Bissell developed much of this land.
15 years ago, none of this was here. 5 years ago, these two buildings weren't here. We've added over 1 million square feet since 2008.
Aerial photos show the stunning growth here between 1994 and today. Expansion in 2 areas of town that's helped put Charlotte on the national stage and will draw worldwide attention when Charlotte hosts the DNC next year.
They'll be able to get a feel for the fact that Charlotte has a lot of vibrant locations that can attract business and provide what businesses need.
You don't see that duplicated very often anywhere. Even when new cities are born, you don't see that.
Making the accomplishments from Ballantyne to the university and across the Charlotte region truly something special. Marvin Beach, Fox News.
I take death to go back to prison. That's the reason I'm out here looking for jobs.
47-year-old Ricardo Jones, also known as Rico, has been in and out of prison for the past 11 years. His troubles began with drugs, using them, then selling them, escalating to being an accessory after the fact in an armed robbery. But this father of 2 and grandfather to 4 is determined to make a fresh start.
I realized I had to make a change. So I know employment was my best way.
But that way has proven to be tough. Even with a resume and letters of reference which show he is a hard worker, jobs for an unskilled laborer who's also an ex-offender seems impossible.
I'm at the end, at the very bottom. I'm in no man's land, really, no man's land, because they're not going to give me a chance. The ex-offenders need some help. Yeah, we need help. We need help or we're going back to prison.
The options may seem severe to us, but in truth, Jones says his criminal record seems too much to overcome. The lean economy means employers can choose, and they do not choose ex-cons.
Coming out here and saying that I cannot get employment, it really hurts. So my mind is, what could I do now? You know, do I have to go back to the streets? If we don't get a job, we're going back to the drugs or to the street, and we're going back to prison. That's the end result, prison or death.
In this festive environment, it's hard to believe we talked to Rico just a few blocks from here. The ex-con trying to rebuild his life, trying desperately to find his place. And of course, the bigger question that's yet to be answered is, will this ex-con make it, or will the streets reclaim him?